Okay, so welcome to one more class. And today we're gonna talk a little bit about the reported verb patterns that we saw in our live class. So I'm gonna share here to start. I'm gonna explain better with the video. But before I explain it to you guys, I'm gonna share because I want to show you guys something. Hold on a second, please. Not this, not even this. All right. So right here, yes. So if you want to follow on your books, okay. So this is page 94, right? So we have this grammar verb patterns, okay. So because if you think about it, sometimes we use a verb and then in the sequence we use an infinitive like to. Sometimes we use the verb, but the other verb comes with a gerund, so which means it's the ing form. So take a look at here, okay? First, we're gonna do this exercise number one because it's related to the text we saw on our live class. And after this, before we we fill the role, we're gonna see how it works exactly, okay? So take a look at this number one. Read the sentences from the reveal on page 93 and complete them with the correct form of the verb in brackets. Then complete the role with the reporting verbs in bold in sentences 1, 2, 3. Okay, so stop the video now, go to page 93 and complete these three sentences, okay? Excellent. So let's take a look. All right, so let's take a look. So I'm just putting a better position here, just a second. I'm gonna try to put it bigger for you. Right here. Not exactly. Yes. Okay, so sentence number one. The education secretary insisted that they were doing, right? So let me put it here for you. Were doing, okay? The right thing. Then we have the verb try. So she accused the opposition of trying, okay, of trying to gain votes by making claims that were untrue. And then we have Miss Davis promised to do everything in her power to protect all subjects, okay? So here, this is how, so we have doing, we have of trying, we have to do, so different verb patterns, okay? So I'm gonna stop sharing. So I'm gonna start sharing again now, but now I'm gonna share a video for you explaining about these patterns, okay? And after we see it, we're gonna do some exercises, okay? So let me just put it here and let me put it bigger for you. And let's go.
Hello. In this lesson, we're going to be looking at ways to tell somebody else what somebody told you. Reported speech. Now, you could use say, tell, and ask. He said this to me, he told me this, he asked me this, for example. But the problem with say, tell, and ask is that they don't give very much information about the way somebody told something or how they did it. And to add more information to our English, we use what's called reporting verbs. So if somebody tells you something and you want to give that information to somebody else with a bit more imagination, a bit more detail, you would use what's called reporting verbs. Now, the problem with reporting verbs is the relationship between the original sentence, as in the direct speech, and the reported sentence with a reporting verb sentence. These two sentences can look very different. So what we're going to be doing is breaking them down in easier chunks to explain. The first set of reporting verbs we're going to use follow the same pattern of using to infinitive. So first of all, if we have a look at the structure, subject, plus the reporting verb. If it's the negative, we add not, followed by to infinitive. For example, the direct speech, could we buy your tickets for you? Now, the issue with reporting verbs is that when you want to use them, you really have to understand the meaning of the verb itself in order for the whole reporting structure to work. For example, this direct sentence is an offer. Somebody is making an offer to you. We kind of know this grammatically. We've got sort of a typical offering structure in the polite English, could we? And in general, you can see we're receiving an offer here. So if we want to report this using the reported verb offer, we would do it like this. They offered to pay for my plane ticket. So as you can see here, we've used a reporting verb in the past, because this is when this event happened, and then we're followed by to infinitive. And as you can see here, the relationship between the direct speech and the reported speech, well, some of the information is similar, but structurally there have been quite a few changes. And this can often be the challenge when using reporting verbs. If we have a look at this direct sentence, I promise I will buy you something nice when I'm away. And as you can see here, this is a promise. So somebody has promised to do something for us. Now, if we want to report this, we would do it in the following way. He promised to buy her something nice when he was away. So again, in general, the information isn't so different, but the information contained here, grammatically and structurally, there have been some changes. In this case, we've got the reporting verb, followed by to infinitive. Now, again, some direct speech. I cannot and will not watch that movie again. So here we can see this is a refusal. Now we would use the reporting verb refuse to report this sentence to somebody else. She refused to watch the fantasy movie again. Now this is a very good example about why we use reporting verbs, because there is more information, more words contained in the direct speech than there are in the reporting speech sentence. Now sometimes, not always, the reason we use reporting verbs is to save time. So far, we've looked at the relationship between direct speech and reporting speech through reporting verbs that were followed by to infinitive. The next set of structures we're going to look at are using reporting verbs followed by gerund, that is to say, ing form of the verb. For example, subject plus the reporting verb followed by the ing verb. And again, the challenge presented by reporting verbs is the fact that quite a lot of the information stays the same, but some of the structures and the words are different. For example, why don't we go to a cafe? So as you can see, this is a suggestion, a classic English language suggestion structure. Why don't we? So, in reported speech, we would use the reporting verb reported in this way. He suggested going to a cafe. So here we can see the classic structure. We've got the reported verb in the past, followed by the gerund, and the information at the end of the question, at the end of this sentence, is more or less the same. We don't think the cinema is a good idea. So, for example, this person is making a suggestion that going to the cinema is not a good idea. So, with the suggestion, we would use the reported verb suggested in this way. We suggested not going to the cinema. So, a negative structure here. Subject, reporting verb, not, followed by gerund. And again, the information is more or less the same, but it's being told in quite a different way. You really should listen to all the songs by this band. So this is a recommendation. We use should for advice, but also strong recommendations when we feel that somebody should do something. In this case, listen to all the songs by this band. So with the noun recommendation, we use the reported verb recommended in this way. He recommended listening to all the band's songs. So again, as you can see, the main information regarding the subjects of the sentence, the band, the songs, is quite similar. But when we're reporting this information, the reporting verb is used in the past simple, followed by ing form. So now we're going to take a look at a third structure that we can use when we're using reporting verbs. It's different from the previous two reporting verb structures, but essentially what you have to do is the same. You take the direct speech, you interpret the direct speech, and you use a reporting verb which changes the structure and sometimes the grammatical nature of the sentences. Here what we're going to look at is subject plus reporting verb, followed by that you can or cannot use, is your choice, followed by an object, for example us or we or you, followed by the main clause. The main clause here doesn't have to be grammatically exactly the same as the original direct speech, it just has to contain the same information. For example, we can't take those bags. So this would be a context where somebody is explaining to you. So this is an explanation. Possibly we're in an airport, possibly we're in a bus station, where somebody is saying to you, sorry madam, we can't take these bags for you. So if it's an explanation, we use the reporting verb explained. So as you can see here, subject, they, explained that we, object, wouldn't be able to take the bags. And you can see here, grammatically, the main clause of this sentence is quite different, but it doesn't really matter as long as the information is more or less the same. I will definitely do all the shopping. So here somebody is making a promise. So if they're making a promise and we want to use reporting verbs, simple, we use the reporting verb promised. And in this case, again, subject, reporting verb, that object. So he promised that he would do all the shopping. So this time, we've got a little bit of backshift here. We've gone will to would because we're describing a past situation or a situation in the future. But essentially, the main clause is the same. Why don't we all go to the cafe? So somebody here is making a suggestion. And in this case, if we've got a suggestion, the reporting verb is suggested. So we suggested that we go to the cafe. So here we can see how we can use this structure this time with these reporting verbs. So in the lesson, we've looked at reporting verbs and how they change direct speech into reporting speech, and how by using reporting verbs, sometimes we have to change the grammar and the structure is very varied. So we've looked at reporting verbs followed by gerund, to infinitive, and that with an object and a clause. And now you can take the exercises which follow this lesson.
Okay. Perfect. So now that we got this explanation, I'm gonna share again here, but just a second. Okay, just a second. Just looking, where is the thing here? Okay, right here. Presentation. Yes. So now we can try to complete here the role. All right. So we can try to complete the role according to the sentences 1, 2, 3 that we saw. So we're going to use these verbs. Okay. So the verbs promise, accuse, insist. All right. Because we're going to check the pattern that they have. So rule. Instead of using say and tell, we can use other verbs to report what someone said more accurately, right? So when you have the pattern person plus preposition plus gerund, so we have the following report verbs: blame, apologize, confess, congratulate, and so insist, accuse, or promise. For example, he blamed me for not helping him. So here we have, let me put it here for you. So we have the verb accuse, all right? So if you see accuse, it follows the same pattern, right? So she accused the opposition of trying, so preposition plus the verb with ing, okay? Then the next, we have the to plus infinitive or that cause pattern. So you have decide and, for example, they decided to build a gym. So here in our examples, we had promise. So Miss they promised to do everything, all right? So just the infinitive. The next, we have gerund or that clause. So we have here recommend, admit to, regret, suggest, deny, and insist or insist on. Okay, so take a look at the example. He recommended going back to a policy of funding all subjects. Okay, and to finish the pattern person plus not, right? When it's a negative, of course, plus to an infinitive. So you have invite and warn. They warned us not to take the road. Okay. So the way we're gonna really learn this, it's by uh, doing some exercises, okay? So what I want you to do is, I want you to pause the video here right now, and I would like you to do these exercise here, okay? So rewrite the sentences using the reporting verbs in the list, okay? So you have apologize, confess, congratulate, deny, suggest, okay? So stop the video now. As soon as you finish, you come back to the correction, okay? All right, so let's correct. Let me just put it here so you can visualize better the answers. So hold on a second, not yet. Just put it down a little bit here. Okay, so, whoa, I'm sorry. Sorry, it was not good. All right, anyways, yes, much better now. So take a look at the example. We're sorry that we didn't invite Nick to the party. So they apologize for not inviting Nick to the party. And then we broke into the office and stole the computer. So we can say, the man confessed to breaking into the office and stealing the computer. Number two, I didn't have any idea that the Prime Minister was planning to reduce the number of English lessons. So the Education Minister, uh, sorry, let me put it here. All right, so Education Minister denied knowing anything about the Prime Minister's plans to reduce the number of English lessons, okay? Or we can say the Education Minister denied knowing that the Prime Minister was planning to reduce or had been planning to reduce the number of English lessons, okay? Number three, uh, well done. Well done, Andy. You've done a fantastic job. So we have the headmaster. So here, the headmaster congratulated Andy on doing or having done a fantastic job. Okay, so ing. And number four, to finish here, we have let's all think carefully before we take any action. So the project leader suggested that we think carefully before taking any action. Okay, so the homework here for you, let me stop sharing here so you can see me. All right, so the homework here will be, I'm gonna leave a file here for you to download, and I want you to do exercises 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and if you have any questions, of course, just let me know here on our forum. Okay, so thank you very much, and I see you in the next class. Goodbye.